everybody. I'm Jesse with Hunt Training, and today I want to talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's Green New Deal. And if you hear some noise in the background, it's probably just my two puppies playing. I got a Dalmatian named Vegas and a Border Collie Idaho Shack Dog named Zam, and they're both puppies and they're probably just playing around. But anyway, I want to talk about this Green New Deal because it's pretty interesting, and I'm sorry if my voice is a little hoarse. I've been fighting a cold for quite a while now, and so let's get into it. So I apologize in advance about my voice, but let's get into it. Anyway, if you haven't heard about it, here's the basic overview of the kind of stuff that's up front that everybody's kind of talking about. A ban in 10 years, so by 2030, a ban on 99% of the cars in the country. And if you don't know, there's about 270 million registered cars in the country. Ban all oil, natural gas, and nuclear power. So that's 80–90% of the current power. So if we ban oil, how are we supposed to have 1% of the cars? I don't understand that part. First off, anyway, there's one point. Every building in America will be gutted and rebuilt with more energy efficient materials, without cars to get around in and work on those. Okay. The one that I don't think anybody really finds good is ban all air travel, and it will be replaced by a massive public transportation system of high-speed rail. One of the biggest, right off the top of my head, I don't and won't and I'm not going to live anywhere close to a high-speed rail station because I like to live out and away from other things. I like to live out and away and by myself. And so, am I the 1% that gets a car to drive from the station to my house because it's not going to be close to the high-speed rail? Or do I got to walk? Because I don't understand that. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, so those are the things up front. Oh, and the elimination of cattle flatulence or cow farts. But I can debunk that really quickly. It's been proven time and time again that the grazing land that cattle are on intake more carbon dioxide than the cattle put off. So that's just kind of, that's fairy dust for AOC. Yeah, she's a democratic socialist who, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, and why I draw some other issues, is she apparently studied economics, I'm pretty sure, at a pretty high-end university, but I don't know if she learned a whole lot because she was elected as a democratic socialist in a area in Brooklyn, New York at 29 and promised all these things that just, our system doesn't work like that, and it won't work like that. And in 10 years for all this to happen, good luck. And I don't think you'll get it done. But it's scary because Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, and I'm sure Bernie Sanders will at some point support this program. And if they get elected in 2020, that's really dangerous. Because then this doesn't become a dream or a fairy tale. It's very possible this could happen, which is scary once we get into some of the literature of the bill. So I'm going to read parts from the bill and I'm going to talk about them. Select committees shall have the authority to develop a national industrial economic mobilization plan to transition the American economy to become greenhouse gas emissions neutral and significantly draw down on greenhouse gases from the atmosphere and the ocean, or from the atmosphere and the oceans, and promote economic and environmental justice and equality. I thought this was an environmental bill. No, it's got a lot of social justice too. Government programs and other stuff. And it's going to be driven, and it also states use the top scientists, and it will be driven by the federal government. So we're going to kill all these private industries. We're going to kill the car industry. We're going to kill the plane industry. We're going to kill airports. We're going to kill the natural gas and fossil fuel industry. We're going to kill all these private industries and influx it into a government-run program. Yeah, that's a real winner there, AOC. That's a real winner. So a few things in here I draw issue with. The select committee shall have the authority. So who's on the select committee and what authority are they getting? Like, I don't like that. And I want to know who's going to be on the select committee. Is it going to be even? I doubt it. It'll probably all be left-leaning individuals, which is not a good idea. Not a good idea. And I just, driven by the federal government. That time and time again, we've proven that government programs really don't work that well. And she's trying to compare this to FDR's New Deal, which is, there's no comparison to draw, because FDR's New Deal, we were at over 30% unemployment, and we were in one of the biggest depressions, or the biggest depression of our country's history. Now we're at 3% unemployment, which pretty much means nobody else wants to work. Everybody that has a job has got a job, and they're working, you know, we're fine, right? And our economy is booming. So I don't see how you compare those two at all. Her Green New Deal and his New Deal. I don't think you can draw comparisons between, because the situation is totally different. And I don't want anybody to take this as I'm not for green energy. I totally am. I think we should be moving to help work on the environment, but I think public programs from the government is not the way it should be handled. I think private industry should handle that, because that's what drives our economy. That's what drives capitalism. And if when I read this next part, you don't see this as a socialistic idea, then you're kind of missing the point. So here we go to the next part. Okay. This needs to mitigate deeply entrenched racial, regional, and gender-based inequalities in income and wealth, including and without limitation. So, wealth is driven by private industry. Nobody ever got rich by somebody giving them something. You know, they worked for it, whatever. They may have got help along the way, but they were given to the income. They want to talk about wage gap and all that stuff. So this is more social justice stuff going on. Over and over again, we stated 4 out of the 5 least paying university degrees women choose, majority chosen by women. 4 out of the 5 highest paying majors are dominated by men. So that's where you see the income gap, which I totally agree is probably there, but that's because men choose higher paying jobs than women. You want to talk about the wage gap in the same job? It is illegal. If it was true, every business everywhere would be hiring women and paying them less because they could, but they can't. And if they are, it is illegal, and you should turn them in. If you're one of those people, turn them in. It is illegal. You should be paid based off your skill, your ability to do the job, and how long you've been there. That's it. Man or woman, whatever, right? Okay. The next part, ensuring the federal government's investment will be equally distributed to historically impoverished, low-income, and deindustrialized or otherwise marginalized communities in such a way that builds wealth and ownership of communities. So federal government's investment, which is your money, your tax income, because your taxes are going to go up with this, obviously, but they're saying we're going to be able to eliminate military spending because we don't have to guard oil reserves in other countries, and I'm sure probably cut some spending with that, but I think we're fighting more for democracy and freedom and, you know, keep tyranny away than anything else. And they want to give this to places that are historically impoverished and low income. So you mean like every major city controlled by Democrats? San Francisco, LA, Chicago, Detroit, St. Louis, New Orleans, Washington, D.C. Every Democrat slum that there is in the country is going to get this huge influx because they're impoverished. They literally are helping one kind. They are trying to help one kind of people, when just giving all these people things won't help them because they've done it for the last 40 and 50 years. And that upsets me a lot. This includes a basic minimum income, so everybody's going to get, you know, whatever. That includes people that are unwilling to work. It states that unwilling to work will be provided an income. I don't agree with that at all. And then universal health care, so more Obamacare. Killing another private industry, so we're going to kill the private health industry even more than it already more dead than it already is. Great. And any others the select committee may find appropriate. So any measures the select committee finds appropriate, they can implement something to change that. So the government has control with whatever they find appropriate to change. If it's filled with leftists, I would bet my bottom dollar that they're going to say gun violence is an epidemic and they're going to come and take away your guns, first off. And basically your rights are, the Bill of Rights is going to get crumpled up and thrown in the trash or burned, because anything that they find appropriate, they're going to come and take it away or do something about it with your money. with your money that you paid in taxes to the government. So that's awesome. That literature right there, anything they find appropriate. So anything that they find appropriate to help people, basically is what it comes down to, is helping people, they can do. And that's very dangerous. It's a very socialistic idea, the government having control of being able to do what they want, what the government sees fit and not what the people sees fit. That's preposterous, and that is a very dangerous thought process. And so oppose this bill. It's very dangerous. One other point I want to point out. It says, on top of the Green New Deal largely pays for itself in healthcare savings from prevention of fossil fuel-related diseases, including asthma, heart attack, strokes, and cancer. Asthma and cancer, I agree. Probably fossil fuels and stuff like that could have something to do with that. I agree. Heart attack and strokes, not so much. It's called people are fat and getting fatter because they, can sit at home and get a welfare check and get fat and not work out. And that will kill more people being fat than the fossil fuels will. Like the heart attack and stroke, like that's killed. It's because they're fat and they continue to be fat. They continue to eat junk. They continue to do things like that. Anyway, guys, this bill and the wording of it is very, very dangerous if this is possible. And it is possible. Don't think it's not, because it's kind of a sleight of hand. What it is we got the no cows, the no cars, the no planes up here. Somebody back here is running this select committee and getting to do what they want. And that's a very dangerous thought. So anyway, guys, I'm Jesse. This is Hunt Training. Like, subscribe, comment, share. Hit me up on Instagram, on Twitter, all that good stuff. And oppose this bill, because this is a direct threat to freedom, and this is tyranny in words. Thanks.